ashamed of you. I'm ashamed of you. Ashamed of you.
Did Capitol Police intentionally antagonize January 6 protesters?
Mr. Reagan.
Don't forget to buy my severely overpriced merchandise at my Teespring site or just send me money through Patreon. I'm posting there again, folks. And you know what? Maybe we'll do a live stream soon. Okay, let's get into it. Since the new speaker, Mike Johnson, has promised to release the security footage from January 6, people are again interested in the Fedsurrection, as they're calling it, the January 6 PSYOP, or as I like to call it, the casual stroll through the Capitol. People are again interested in this, and they're looking at it from every possible angle. And one angle, and this is a really interesting one, it has been proposed that maybe the police actually antagonize the crowd, poking and prodding, trying to instigate some kind of an attack. Now, I want to make it clear that I am neither condoning violence with this video, glorifying violence, nor encouraging violence. I know that YouTube will sometimes take a video down claiming such things. So I'm making that clear right now. In fact, quite the opposite. I am condemning the violence in these videos. All right, so now that's out of the way. The first I heard of this video was from a tweet by a guy called Todd Heinrich. He posted a video that was apparently produced by a group called StopHate.com, and this video was extremely provocative. It really got me thinking. I'm going to play it for you here in one moment, but first, of course, I have to sell you something. All right, I've been promising a fitness and nutrition video for a long time, and it is coming, I promise. But along my fitness journey, I've discovered something fantastic. This stuff. It's called IMI. This is a low-carb, high-protein ramen, and I'm a 100% low-carb guy. I like fasting. I like low-carb. That works really well for me. And let me tell you, finding good low-carb options for great food is sometimes really tough. Now, I love ramen, and so this product is like a gift from the gods. IMI is the tastiest way to cut carbs from your diet so you can feel better every day. Each packet has just 5 net carbs and 300 total calories. So it's basically perfect. And with 18 grams of fiber, it's great for your gut health and your digestion. And listen, study after study shows that more protein is good for you. Don't take my word for it, look it up. If you want to get stronger, protein. If you want to lose weight, protein. If you want better overall health, protein. I used to grab a protein shake every morning, but that gets really boring over time. So it's great to have alternative, quick and easy protein sources, and IMI is just that. It is fantastic. Now look, the folks at IMI, they've given me the hookup for you guys here, 15% off. So go to IMIEats.com/Mr. Reagan or click on the link in the description below to get 15% off your order. That's IMIEats.com/Mr. Reagan to get 15% off. IMI also offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so it's literally risk-free. And you know what? My brother has been on this great diet kick right now. He's lost a ton of weight. I'm going to get him a bunch of this stuff. For real. I'm going to order him some of that right now. All right, you guys, IMIEats.com/Mr. Reagan, 50% off. Go get it and get fit.
Steve on the board! Steve on the board!
What's your ETA? Coming down I Street. 51, I need you here, please.
They're shooting into their own people.
I have given warnings about chemical munitions. I need the less than lethal team position above me to start deploying. Launch!
You're on the wrong side! Hey, walk up to the front of the line. Come here. Show these cops what they just did to you.
People are climbing up there, and a police officer with a blue helmet?
Yeah. He could have killed him.
Was he badly injured?
I think he was injured pretty badly.
Who suffered severe foot and spinal injuries and broke his ankle when he hit the ground some 20 feet below.
If they'd never thrown the concussion grenades, if they'd never used a pepper spray, this wouldn't have happened. It was a peaceful protest. They started firing at us before anybody did anything to them. We were not rushing them. There was no advance on them. They just started throwing concussion grenades and pepper spray.
All right, now look, I am not an expert in crowd control, but I suspect that throwing stun grenades haphazardly into a massive crowd like this, it's not going to disperse them. It's going to piss them off. There doesn't seem to be any kind of plan or strategy here. It's just inflict pain. It just seems like the plan is not to disperse the crowd, but rather to piss the crowd off. The left claims that the Fed presence in the crowd that day is a crazy conspiracy theory, despite the indisputable evidence of this. But thankfully, people are no longer buying it. In April, Rasmussen conducted a poll in which they asked likely voters, how likely is it that undercover government agents helped provoke the Capitol riot? Now, even among Democrats, a majority believe that it's likely. Among Democrats, 59% believe it's likely. Among independents, 62% believe that it's likely. And among Republicans, 74% believe that it's likely. So yeah, the people know. Even Democrats know. The feds provoked the protesters. But you know what's interesting? It never occurred to me that the Capitol Police were intentionally agitating the crowd. Look, you might think that that's a naive take, but you see, I knew that the feds were involved from the very start. That was always the primary theory. And most of the January 6th police there that day, I still believe that most of the cops there were kept in the dark as to the plans of Pelosi and the other January 6th PSYOP planners.
There's a video that has police officers on the west side by the fountain yelling at each other, and one of them says, "We're hurting innocent people." And they say, for every one we're pulling out, we're making 10 angrier.
You're hitting with a lot of pain compliance when you're hitting innocent people.
And not only that, we're taking out one and 10 of them are getting angrier. We're multiplying them by hitting them.
They set us the up. That's what they did. They set us up. They set up 64.
Oh, absolutely.
And then they asked y'all to come 2 hours later. They set us up.
They needed everybody right away.
Nah, right away. They set us up. So now we ain't got
No, there was no way hell was holding that
we ain't got a thing. They set us the
I think that only a few high-ranking officers were told what was going on that day, or at least they were told what they needed to know in order to get the desired result that day. But they were understaffed for that protest. That's been said a million times. And a lot of cops, just generally, cops are conservative. The vast majority of cops are conservative. And a few of those Capitol Police officers who ended their lives supposedly after January 6th, I looked into it and they were Trump-supporting Republicans. So it could be that they were going to blow the whistle on what really happened on January 6th. I mean, maybe that's why their lives were actually ended. Who knows? It's a possibility. So my point is that I think it would be difficult to recruit a large number of Capitol Police to agitate the crowd. But then after watching this montage that this guy compiled, or this group compiled, you know what? Yeah, maybe. So look, I started looking through the body cam footage of some of the cops myself, and I discovered this.
I'm ashamed of you. I'm ashamed of you. Ashamed of you.
This older woman, probably a grandma, who appears to be standing very casually, not at all threatening, she is brutally pushed down these concrete stairs. And she could have smacked her head. She's an older woman. This officer could very well have killed this grandma. And for what? For standing too close to him. I was pretty shocked to see this. And naturally, this did agitate the crowd. But then, this grandma, she walks back in defiance of the cop, and she stands there, and once again, he pushes her. He pushes her one more time down the steps. And this time, the crowd really loses it. And look, I've never seen this footage before, so I think I might be the first one to post this. I originally posted this on Twitter a few days back. So this is actually potentially breaking news, new footage. Okay, so now this pisses off the crowd, so they do rush the police. They do push the police back. There is a break in the line, a break in the police line, and the protesters do get past them. Moments later, this cop decides that this guy's flag needs to be confiscated. I mean, it doesn't look like it's being used as a weapon, but I mean, and this guy seems like a reasonable guy, but apparently it was too dangerous for him to be able to have. So the officer decides he wants to take it from him. Whilst taking it from him, the police officer knocks the guy to the ground, and then already on the ground, the cop comes back to him and pushes him over again, just to add insult to injury. And then this girl gets shoved down as well. Like, this is not an effective crowd control method, I don't think. This is not the way to keep the crowd calm. The only reason I can see for this kind of brutality is to piss the crowd off, to antagonize them, to instigate a riot. Had the police anywhere in America treated Antifa or especially BLM like this, using these aggressive tactics, It would be written about in the newspapers, discussed on the news networks, and protested over the course of months, maybe even years. There would be congressional investigations. Police officers would go to prison for these assaults on innocent civilians. But for the January 6th protesters, there is no justice. We no longer live in America, folks. We live under a totalitarian regime controlled by a shadow government with a puppet propped up as the head of state. And look, I am not without hope. We can bring it back, but it's not going to be easy. Well, that's it for me. Keep the channel up and running. Buy all of my overpriced crap at Teespring and send me money on Patreon. Maybe I'll do a live stream if I get enough people signing up. Well, that's it for me. And remember, it's not that our liberal friends are ignorant. It's just they know so much that is not so. Good night.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. And this idea that government is beholden to the people, that it has no other source of power except the sovereign people, is still the newest and the most unique idea in all the long history of man's relation to man.